The site where Europe's first lunar mission crash-landed on the moon 11 years ago has finally been located using XI-style techniques. A detailed crash scene investigation revealed the final resting place of the European Space Agency's first lunar mission, SMART-1. The spacecraft was sent into a controlled impact with the lunar surface in 2006. Although an impact flash was imaged at the time by the Canada-France Highway telescope on the dark side of the boundary between night and day on the lunar surface, the exact location had not been identified until now. ESA SMART-1 project scientist Professor Bernard Foing said SMART-1 had a hard, grazing and bouncing landing at 2 kilometers per second on the surface of the moon. An artist's impression of the SMART-1 probe, which launched in 2003, image ESA. There were no other spacecraft in orbit at the time to give a close-up view of the impact, and finding the precise location became a cold case for more than 10 years. For this crash scene investigation, we used all possible Earth witnesses, observational facts and computer models to identify the exact site, and have finally found the scars. The next steps will be to send a robotic investigator to examine the remains of the SMART-1 spacecraft body and wings of the solar arrays. The location is 34.262 degrees south and 46.193 degrees west, consistent with the coordinates of impact calculated initially. The SMART-1 impact site was discovered by Dr. Phil Stook of Western University in Canada, using high-resolution images from NASA's Lunar Reconnaissance Orbiter (LRO). A video grab shows of the moon's surface at the Beijing Aerospace Control Center on December 15, 2013 in Beijing, China. Image Xinhua Land of Barcroft Media. The images show a linear gouge in the surface, about 4 meters wide and 20 meters long, cutting across a small pre-existing crater. At the far end, a faint fan of ejecta sprays out to the south. Prof. Foing added the high-resolution LRO images show white ejecta, about 7 meters across, from the first contact. A north-south channel has then been carved out by the SMART-1 spacecraft body before its bouncing ricochet. We can make out 3 faint but distinct ejecta streams from the impact, about 40 meters long and separated by 20-degree angles. Dr. Stook said orbit tracking and the impact flash gave a good estimate of the impact location, and very close to that point was a very unusual small feature. Image AFP. It now seems that impacts of orbiting spacecraft, seen here from SMART-1, and also in the cases from Grail and Lady, will form elongated craters, most of whose rather faint ejecta extends downrange. Prof. Mark Burchell of the University of Kent performed laboratory impact experiments and simulated the SMART-1 grazing impact conditions. He said it is exciting to see for the first time the real scars from the SMART-1 impact and compare them to the models and laboratory simulations. The findings were presented at the European Planetary Science Congress EPSC 2017 in Latvia.